You don't have to be old for your body to stop responding. For millions of men, it's not a medical problem, it's a neurological one. You've trained your brain to respond to stimulation that doesn't exist in real life. And now, when real intimacy shows up, the signal doesn't come through. This isn't about shame or morality. It's about signal strength. By the end of this video, you'll see why your brain's not broken. It's just been mistuned to the wrong frequency. Your brain's reward system is a lot like going to a concert. I recently just took my daughter Saoirse to see Billie Eilish. It was totally incredible. You can see the video on my Instagram page. The lights, the sound, the energy in this huge stadium, you could feel the dopamine surge. It was literally pleasure and joy in motion. But imagine going to that level of concert every single night. Same songs, same lights, same massive crowd. What felt magical for the first time would start to feel flat. You'd still go, but the thrill would fade. Saoirse said it was one of the best experiences in her entire life. And the next night, she actually proclaimed that she was bored, waiting for the next day to start because nothing exciting was lined up. That's exactly what overstimulation does inside your brain. When you hit those pleasure circuits too hard and too often, the dopamine receptors start protecting themselves. They dial that volume down. At first, it's very subtle. You just need a little more excitement to feel the same spark. But soon, even the beautiful moments, the real ones, they feel too quiet. When your nervous system gets used to stadium level stimulation, the gentle rhythm of real connection can feel too soft to even notice. It's not that your body forgot how to respond. It's that your brain's been stuck in the front row, third row for us, in the front row for you too long, ears ringing from too much noise, trying to remember what real music sounds like. Think of dopamine like electricity, or maybe staying with our concert theme like sound. When you're at a Billie Eilish show, the lights flash, the confetti falls, the bass shakes your chest. Every sense is flooded. That's high voltage, thrilling, loud, unforgettable. But what happens when the tour ends and you walk into a tiny theater for a stripped down acoustic set with your partner, if you know what I mean? Just you and the artist close up, just one single guitar and silence in between songs. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Do you clap too early? Do you look away? You can feel every breath, every pause, every lyric land too close. That's what real intimacy feels like after overstimulation. Your system gets used to pyrotechnics. Now it's being asked to sit in stillness. It's not that you've lost desire. It's that your nervous system doesn't know what to do with the quiet. When you've trained your brain for stadium energy, the acoustic moments, soft, slow, human, they can feel awkward, even foreign. That's exactly what happens to intimacy and arousal. Your nervous system has been conditioned for the intensity of flashing lights, for constant novelty, for endless volume. So when you finally step into something real, quiet connection, eye contact, gentle touch, your brain doesn't register it as exciting. It registers it as silence. That's why so many men say I want it, but I can't feel it. It's not brokenness. It's contrast. Your body isn't failing you. It's trying to tune itself to a softer song. ED becomes the body's way of saying, I don't know how to perform without all the hyperstimulation. I don't know how to do it without all the bells and whistles. But that silence you feel in the moment, that pause that feels so unfamiliar, it isn't emptiness. It's sensitivity returning. It's your reward system coming back online. It's learning to appreciate the subtle, honest notes of connection again. The signal didn't die. It's just relearning how to hear the music, this time, the real kind. Here's the good news. Your brain is plastic. It can rewire. When you step away from constant stimulation, your dopamine receptors start to reset, but they don't just need less. They need different. Think of it like returning to that stripped down acoustic concert. At first, the quiet feels uncomfortable, too raw, too real. But then, as your system settles, you start hearing things that you'd forgotten. You start hearing the texture in the voice, the vibration of the strings, the breath between notes. That kind of performance isn't loud, it's intimate. It's not thousands of people screaming the same words. It's just you and the artist, a moment made for you. And in that stillness, something shifts. You're not lost in a sea of noise anymore. You're present in a private connection that feels real again. That's what recovery feels like. Connection, touch, eye contact, movement. These are the frequencies that bring your system back online. I see this every single week in my program. Men come in terrified, convinced something's broken way beyond repair. And I tell each and every one of them, I know you can't sense this yet, but you can heal. There is pragmatic hope. And then a few weeks later, after training their brains, they start to notice the small things, deeper sleep, real emotion, a spark of attraction that feels authentic again. That's not magic. That is the wonder of neuroplasticity. Your brain remembering the difference between noise and music, between being one in a crowd versus being truly seen, between performance and connection, between stimulation and satisfaction. Real intimacy wasn't ever meant to compete with screens or noise. It's built on presence, on two nervous systems, learning to stay calm, connected, and curious together. When your dopamine levels return to balance, everything feels different. Arousal becomes natural again, not something you have to chase or perform. You stop watching yourself and you start experiencing yourself. It's like rediscovering the music after the lights fade, the quiet moments where emotion lives, where you're not performing, you're participating.